Peace and love, everyone. So we're continuing our series with the usury spirit, and unfortunately, not everyone listened to the warnings and the cautions. So we're going to go ahead and get into some of the things that you may experience with the usury spirit that's controlling the person that's asking for help, and you might think it's innocent, but it's completely not. So first of all, you're on your path, you're on your own ship, you're on your own boat going towards your purpose, and you see this person, ladies, they're calling out for help, they're drowning, they're actually asking you to help them, throw them the rope, and you're listening to their concerns and their complaints and their gropes, and they're moaning, all these different things, they're asking you for help. And they begin to tell you about their plan, how they only plan to stay for 2 days or 2 nights and then they're going to be gone. That sounds good to you. And fellas, you're up here looking at them and seeing their condition. So you put yourself in their shoes. And now you begin to say, I can't let them drown and just suffer like that because I can relate to them. So you throw them the rope and you begin to pull them in. And once you pull them in, they get on board your ship. And next thing you know, the usury spirit begins to use. The usury spirit goes to work. Now you may start to experience all the things that the usury spirit is going to unleash on you in your sacred space, your home, your abode. So what happens is once that usury spirit gets hold of you and gets hold of this person, now they begin to use up everything. They start to use up all of your electricity. They plug in all of their devices into your Wi-Fi. They connect all their devices to your Wi-Fi, and then they begin to uh, plug in all of these extension cords around your house and plug all of these extension cords into other extension cords that can cause a hazard. Now you're dealing with them plugging up their game console into your living room TV, rearranging furniture. Now you got to keep in mind they told you that they're only going to be staying there for a couple of days, but now on the first day, it seems like they got completely comfortable. So you got to ask yourself and pay attention to these red flags. Why are they getting so comfortable? And a lot of times you ignore. So they continue to use and abuse, and they begin to eat up all your food. They start to drink up all of your drinks, especially your orange juice. They leave just a little bit left, only for them to say that at least I left you some, or I didn't drink it all, as if that's a good thing, instead of just finishing it and then throwing the box away. But they even put that back in the refrigerator. You go in there, you go to get something to drink, and now you're pissed off because there's none left, basically. Then they start blasting that music, and they don't really have no self awareness. And then they come to you and say their plans fell through and they need 2 more weeks. Now, part of you actually think it's true because they actually have a job, and it's a good paying job. But another part of you know that it's not true, but you go along with it, and you don't even realize all the red flags. And then you begin to see that this wind, not only has this wind changed your path and your course completely, it's beginning to change you. And if you're not careful, you won't be able to redirect if you get too far in. You stop focusing on your aspirations, your goals, your dreams, your vision, and your life now has become more about helping them. That's what this usury spirit does. And now it's you taking them places. You got to take them to the job. You got to take them to the store. You got to take them to meet their friends. Now you got to take them everywhere they need to go. And mind you, they don't even offer to contribute to gas. So now they come to you. They asking you. 2 weeks go by and they start saying, "Can I just stay? I'm just trying to save up so I can get my own place and I don't rent out my own space." But now you don't even see that the plan has completely changed to now it's requiring more from you. You say yes, not realizing that they don't have any real intentions on leaving. And you got to think, why would they? Okay, you got a great space, you helping them, it's convenient, and they helping themselves to your stuff. Why would they ever leave? So time goes on, and you see that there's no real progress. I mean, on the surface, you see them having a job, but then they quit a job and get a new job. But that's only to stall and create more time. But when you really peel back the layers, you start to see that when they get these jobs, you thinking the whole time they saving up. They're not saving up to move or rent a new space. They saving up nothing. They smoking up their finances. They drinking up their finances. They drugging up their finances. They going out partying, shopping, going on splurges. This is all the spirit of usury. Now, you think you're doing good because you letting them stay with you and you're helping them and you're not charging them any rent so that they can save up and move out and get their own place. But in actuality, things keep falling apart. Things keep falling down because really they don't value the same things you value. Now you got to keep having meetings with them and check in. And that's because they're not really about the same path or purpose that you are. And not only are they not about that, they're content with the usury spirit having them on this program and receiving. Now they done got so comfortable. All right, they done really just started to let their hair down and feel themselves, and they got so comfortable to the point where they start gossiping behind your back. All right, they start talking about you to relatives and loved ones and friends, and now they starting to tell all these different things that they don't like that you're not doing for them, as if you're not already doing a lot for them. It's this ungrateful attitude that they have. They telling relatives, "Girl, they made me late for work. They were supposed to take me to work, and they was driving all slow and they didn't get me there on time, but they didn't tell you about the part where they told you last minute they need a ride and they want you to be their personal chauffeur and keep up with their work schedule. Oh, I told you last week I had to be there this time and you get up and take them that time, but then the schedule changes. They never tell you that. They just want you to know. See, and then they want you to speed to a job that they hate and gonna eventually quit anyway. See, this is what you gotta deal with. Then they tell you, "Oh man, this guy he ain't let me stay in that room. He ain't let me use that room that he got up there. Nobody using it. Why he don't let me stay? He got me sleeping on the floor or on the couch." But they never tell the part that they said that they was not going to be there for long. They was only going to be there for a couple nights. What about that? This is the type of energy you got to deal with the user spirit. Now you start building resentment and you start having regret for even allowing them to come into your space in the first place. Now you're starting to realize you should have never thrown them that rope. All right. And the best thing for you to do right now is to cast them overboard. Throw them off your ship. I don't care how it look, how it might make them feel. Get rid of them. Because they're going to already complain. They're already going to talk about you. They already been talking about you anyway. Get rid of them. And if you worry about if it's going to mess up your relationship, don't worry about that because that relationship been messed up for a while. All right, that relationship will never be the same because years ago when y'all whatever happened to make y'all fall out, that is the cause. That's that part right there that you should focus on. Don't focus on now. This is the result of things that happened in the past. So everything that's happening right now, don't concern yourself with that. You just need to cut them off, throw them overboard, and get them off your ship. Then too, if you're also worried about uh, how they're not going to respect or like you, all right, because some people they deal with that as well. You need to focus on yourself in the situation. You made a mistake, first of all, to yourself because you allowed this thing to happen. So you just need to cut it off completely and just move on. Now, for the ones who are struggling with cutting them off, you think that they're going to change. We're going to deal with you in another video, but let me tell you, they're not going to change for several reasons. Number one, that usury spirit is in full effect. Number two, they are comfortable, and you help make it extremely comfortable for them to the point where why would they need to change? You have made that environment so friendly for them. And when you have that much comfort, the only thing that's going to disrupt it is something that shakes it up. It ain't gonna happen. Stop worrying about if they're gonna change or its potential. Don't look at that. All right, you're looking at a person who's now being controlled by a user spirit. But we're gonna deal with that in another video. So your mission right now is to just get rid of them. All right, it don't matter how it look. When you're pruning a tree, when you're pruning bushes, you gotta cut. All right, you can't be concerned about how it looks because the outcome of how it's gonna look. That is what you're looking at. This person that already have their thoughts about you is already changed. You gotta go with that and keep that in mind. Now, although this usury spirit has taken over them and have controlled them and made them do certain things, you're not off the hook. You are not innocent in this. You played a huge part in this. You allowed them to get on board your ship. You threw them the rope, and your ego got in the way because you thought that you could save them. Your naivety settled in, and you chose to see the old version of them that you was comfortable with, and not the version that they become with this usury spirit. You threw them a rope instead of a life jacket. See, they could have figured it out just like they've been doing for the rest of those years that they was missing in your life. But you tried to pull them in when you should have thrown them a life jacket and let them discern and let them figure out how can they get their own ship instead of bringing them on yours. And now y'all both off course and about to sink. You kept extending a helping hand beyond what you normally would because you were so invested in helping someone and you lost sight of your course and you became consumed with helping an ungrateful person. So, what do I do now? Number one, you need to remove the usury spirit in the person that they're controlling. Don't matter how it looks, don't matter how it feels to them, don't matter if they tell your relatives or loved ones or friends how bad of a person you are, they'll see for themselves eventually. Number two, you need to learn from this and commit yourself to being aware and alert to look out for these red flags in people and make sure that you set up healthy boundaries so this can never happen again. And number three, you need to reset your course, refocus your energy on your path and your purpose so that you can get back to where you once were. And sometimes you may never get back to where you once were, but at least you'll be going back on the path towards your destiny. Okay, so this wraps up this series on the usury spirit. And now we're going to move on to the other spirits that we're going to get into. We're going to drop those videos, so be on the lookout for those. All right, peace and love. I hope this was able to help a lot of you who were dealing with this situation. And again, I'll see you in the next video.